Dear Diary, I spent the whole day rewatching all my episodes. I look so awesome. Being a YouTuber is the coolest thing. Or maybe I'm the coolest thing. I know that sounds crazy, but it might be true. LOL. I'm so crazy. I met Jelly Roll that time. I should probably reach out to him. He would definitely want to hang out now. What if we became BFFs? LOL. This life of fame is so much fun. My wife is being a real jerky McJerk face about it. And my kids stopped talking to me. Apparently, they are upset because I don't have time for them. They just don't get it. Eminem said you only get one shot, and I will not miss my chance. Anywho, gotta go. Gonna stare at myself in the mirror later and bask in how much I rock it. Love me. Oh, we rolling? Y'all weren't supposed to hear that. Egg on my face. I mean, a person can't, you know, write in their diary on public formats and expect privacy. Right, Dr. Fauci? I mean, I get it. I feel bad for the guy, honestly. Anyways, welcome. Episode 7. Yeah, I think that's right. Episode 7. Moving right along, as always want to start out by saying thank you to everyone. And by the way, that's just a little play on the whole Fauci diary being exposed. So if you haven't seen that, go check out his diary. It's a fun read. And we're gonna get into a little bit of that here just in a moment. But again, thank you to everyone for all the support. I do have a concern though that ever since I think it was episode 3 when we did the "Oh Netanyahu, you didn't," um, I might have upset some people that control where your videos go, because either that or I just upset a lot of people. Either way, I don't know, but the views went down, and I'm just wondering if there's a shadow ban out for your boy. Anyways, if you like the content, share it with a pal. Spread the word. All right. And I love you forever. But anyways, by myself again tonight. Another late nighter. Hey man, you got stuff to do. We got jobs, real jobs that actually pay money. And did a little fishing today, so that was fun. Took my youngest son out to rip some lips. You know what I mean? And his buddy, and we had a good time. A little hot, and it's a little hot in here. This flower is wilting in this garage, but hey, it just shows you how much I love y'all. That I'm willing to sit through the heat to get the content out. You got to get the content out. And I know, like, Daryl, why are you so dressed up? No reason, look nice, feel nice, is what I always say. And so this is not just your normal cut off button up. Like, this is one where, like, you got to go, you got to get some stuff done, but then you might go eat at a Cheddar's afterwards, and you want to look nice. So that's what this is. And no special occasion, just like I said, dress nice, feel nice, and I want to feel nice. So that's the reason for it. I was going to tell y'all something else too. Now it's slipping. Oh yeah, by myself. You know, this brother I got. All right. I tell him, hey, I'm going to record late Friday night, and he's like, I got to get up Saturday to go to a Christian men's conference, and I'm like, bro, I mean, like, okay. but you're supposed to be a part of this. So you're my helper. So if I call you at 3 o'clock in the morning on a work day and say, "Hey, we need to drop one," I need you here. I need you here. My son's in the bed. I don't like being out here just talking to my camera by myself. It's kind of odd, you know. It's a weird feeling that I don't like. I like at least have someone sitting back there, even if they are bored to death. At least it's still feels like you're talking to someone. But Gabe, you gotta get it together, man. Um, if I need you here at 1:30 in the morning, I need you here. You know, just kidding. He knows I'm kidding. He does a good job. Probably have him back in here for the next one. But hey, like I said, we're normal people. We do normal people things, and sometimes you gotta find the time. But I'm gonna tell y'all a little story tonight, starting out. Um, when I was a teenager, I got in a little bit of trouble. I wasn't I wasn't a good boy. Got into some things back then, and I grew up in a little town, and little town with bad kids. You cause a ruckus. A lot of malarkey going on. You know what I mean? Tomfoolery was my best friend, and this went on up until I had my first kid. But used to get into some things, and I think it was right after I graduated. Yep, it was right after I graduated because I just bought this. It was like a 1997 Chevy Blazer, and look, I know that's not like a Mercedes or nothing like that, but with my background, like a brand new Chevy. Well, it wasn't brand new. It was used, but newish. It was newish. Chevy Blazer. It was like the second year where they rounded off the front. It wasn't the box style. Black, had black leather seats, had the 15s in the back, the JBLs, just boom, 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 boom. Had the amp, remember the CD player that fold down, you could take the face off and you have a little cover, and you carry it in your pocket, roll up at the party, be like, oh, that's just my CD player face. You know what I mean? Like that was something back then, It wasn't a Mercedes, but you felt like it was Chevy. It wasn't an Escalade. It felt like an Escalade. It was pretty nice, if I have to say so myself. But I hadn't had it long, and me and the uh, me and the boys went and picked up Mister Chief, also known as Mischief, one night. We didn't have nothing to do, and so we were like, "Hey, let's get into some stuff." So we decided we were going to go do a little egging. We'll go egg some people, and it's not nice. It's not nice. Look, if you get toilet paper in the trees, it was probably done with love. It's kind of the way I've always seen it. Like if you toilet paper somebody or you get toilet paper, it's either because you love them or they love you. All right, it's out of love. If it's eggs, you got an enemy probably, or just someone being a jerk. When that was our case, we were just being little jerks. And no one, and I never see people don't roll houses like that. Was it the toilet paper scare back in COVID that ruined the T pin? That was a fun. That was a fun time. Like you went and got a 24 pack and just unleashed it into someone's trees. That was a good night. I actually, and my aunt hears this. I don't know if I ever told her this. I broke into her house one time and took their own toilet paper and rolled their house with it. It was a fun time though, and I did it out of love. I did it, and they probably weren't happy when all the TP was gone, but it was done with love. And I wish more people were out toilet paper people's houses again. Like that's the America that I miss. But we weren't toilet papering people's houses; we were egging, and we'd gonna get up. There's 4 of us in my Blazer. We got a few dozen eggs. Actually, more than a few. We'd gotten a lot of eggs, and we done hit like 2 or 3 houses. And so we're riding down the town we lived in had one main road, and of course we're riding down through it, and one of my buddies in the back seat is like, "Let's throw I'm gonna throw an egg at a car going by," and I was like, "No, that's not a good idea." Okay, because the block is hot out here. The block is hot. Small town. Friday, Saturday night. A lot of cops out. Really, only cops out, and it's not a smart move. So I said, "Hey, only houses. No cars going by." Not even 2 minutes later, we got our windows down. Not even 2 minutes later, truck passes us, and I hear it just splat on the side of that truck. And the guy sitting in the passenger seat just had that look like, and I look back, and my buddy back, the 2 guys back there, the one that did it, he's just like, I was so mad. Oh, so mad. I almost stopped in the highway, and I just whipped it around. I was like, fun's over. Fun's over. Fun is ruined because of your actions. I took them back to their car. I said, get out. I'm going home because I'm not trying to get hemmed up on an egg case. You know what I mean? I don't even know, vandalism, whatever. I'd never been to jail, and I never wanted to go to jail, but I don't want my first offense, if I'm going to be because someone got hit with an egg that I didn't even throw. You know what I mean? So I said, get all the eggs out of here, all the proof. I'm going home. So I thought they, got all the eggs out, got everything. I get going down the road, headed home, and sure enough, as I'm passing the one gas station that's open all night long, a cop is coming out the door. He just got the call. Apparently, the person that we hit, they called the law. And the cop that just got the call was going out to his car the moment I was past him because he was locked in on me. Dark colored SUV, just locked in on me. And he had me pulled over less than a mile down the road. I'm not sweating it though, right? I'm by myself. There's no eggs in the car. I'll be home in 20 minutes. All right. This guy's got nothing on me. I'm just a dude out trying to get home, Got the wrong guy. Cop, you got the wrong guy. So of course he gets up, he comes to my window, and he's questioning me, where have you been tonight? And I was like, oh, I've been at my sister's house, and I've just headed home, been by myself, everything. And it's almost like he's buying it, right? Like maybe this isn't the SUV. Everything seems to be adding up. And as he's shining his light around inside the car, I hear him go, "What's that back there?" And I didn't think it could be anything. I knew I didn't have nothing illegal in my car. At least I hoped I didn't. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. He said, look under that seat back there. And I turned and I look. And as soon as I did, you could see the end of a pack of eggs sticking out from the back seat. Someone left eggs in the car. Busted. I am busted. I'm locked up. They won't let me out. That's it. I'm done. I'm done for. They got me. And I was like, officer, that's eggs. He was like, so we get a call about a dark colored SUV, teenagers in it, throwing eggs at vehicles, going down the highway. You fit the description, and there's eggs in the back seat. I was like, look, I just came from my sister's, and she was like, hey, send these eggs to mom. So what to say? I'm not going to admit to it. I didn't even do it, and I wasn't a snitch. I wasn't going to snitch. I might be a lot of things, but I know what happens to snitches, right? It involves ditches or stitches, and I'm not down with either one of them. So I wasn't gonna squeal. I'd take the heat if I had to. He said, "Hand me that." So I grab it and he opens it. And thankfully there were no eggs missing. He was like, "No eggs missing." And I was like, "No eggs thrown then, right? No eggs missing, no eggs thrown. I'm trying to get home and make some scrambled eggs. That's all I'm trying to do. You got the wrong guy again." He goes back to his car. Somehow he figures out who my sister is, calls her. She's like, "I haven't seen my brother." She didn't know. I didn't hold it against her. She didn't know what was going on. I didn't think he was going to call her. He figured out who my mom was because my mom had a restaurant in town at the time. And again, I'm 18, 19 years old. And he's like, "Well, I can't prove anything. So I'm going to send you home and let your mom deal with it." I'm like, oh, no, it was my thoughts at the time. I'm not saying that was a good thought to have. It was just my thoughts at the time. Well, also, another caveat to this, he did bring the guy down. The guy that called the complaint got to come down there and cuss me out, even though I wouldn't admit to doing it and they couldn't prove I did. I guess the cop was like, "We know it's him. We can't prove it. So you want to say a bunch of 4-letter words to him? Go ahead," which was kind of odd policy, but it's small town, stuff happens. So I had to sit there and take that. And in the middle of this, when I still didn't know what was going to happen, guess who I see come driving past me? It was my 3 friends in one of them's car because apparently someone had forgot their keys in my car. So I'm sitting there and I see them pass by and all their faces were like, because they convinced me that nothing was going to happen, Daryl. You're overreacting. Chill out. It's going to be fine. They're not going to call the cops. And there I am. There I am with the cops, right? They let me go. They couldn't make nothing stick, so they let me go. I get home and they're sitting there waiting on me. I was so mad. I was so bad. Now, I had that pack of eggs and I was just going to get it, throw it at his car, but would have been an overreaction, right? Because I didn't get in no trouble. So I threw it over. I chewed them out. I went inside. They got their keys and they left. Temper's cool the next day. I calmed down. I hit them up, talking to them. They're like, "Hey, man, we just want you to know that the cop's house that pulled you over, we went and egged it." And a part of me was like, now he's really going to know I'm involved in this. So the first instinct is I wanted to be upset. Like after all that, then they go egg the cop's house. That's crazy. Like I didn't get in any trouble, right? Why would y'all escalate it? Now he's going to be looking for me again. He knows I'm involved. But then I got to thinking, they had my back, right? The boys had my back. And that's what you need in life. You need people to have your back, even when they mess up or you mess up and the circumstances are weird or drastic or whatever, they're going to have your back. And if you don't have that in life, then what do you have, right? If you don't have people that will go egg the cop's house after he tried to get you in trouble, then what do you have? Because that's friendship. And everybody needs friendship. Dr. Fauci understands this, right? He understands this. You got to have buds when things get tough. You got to have buds when things get tough because they're going to help you through it. When the cops are on you or the world hates you, you got to have your buds that you're going to get embarrassed a little bit, but they got your back. And that's what I learned through the whole Dr. Fauci circus that's been going on the past couple of weeks. Nothing's going to happen to that guy, right? Nothing's going to happen. He got pardoned. Like, he got pardoned from all the way back in 2014. Look, these people take care of each other, right? They take care of it. Sure, they do the look, man. We got to bring you out in front of these people, and you're gonna get embarrassed, but we got your back. Like, nothing's gonna happen. Sure, a bunch of people died, right? Yeah, we get it. A bunch of people died, but they are population control people, so it didn't bother them that much. But that's not a good look, though, right? A bunch of people dying, that's not a good look. A bunch of people died, but you were a rock star, right? Yes, we had to walk around breathing in our own bacteria, but he was having the time of his life, right? He was rocking it. I get it, brother. I get it. Like, yeah, you were trying to force vaccines on everyone, and not even real vaccines. Yes, you were trying to outcast anybody who questioned it. He was Mr. Science. Remember? If you attacked him, you attacked science. And nobody will attack science. Science is even a person, it's a methodology. But nobody wants to attack science. I don't want to attack Dr. Fauci. He was living his best life. We were losing our jobs and wondering if we were going to have anything to wipe our butts with. Right? But he had his moment. And he lost himself in it. And he never let it go. You only get one shot. And I don't blame him. He was 80. I think he was 80 years old when COVID happened. He probably never thought his shot was going to come. And it came. And he took it. And he rocked it. And his boys had his back. His boys had his back. And we really have to learn from that, right? We've got to learn that all these. When the news came out that Fauci's journal got leaked and it had all this stuff, and we already knew, those that are paying attention, all the bull crap that was coming out from COVID, right? I remembered. I remember how crazy it was. Like when COVID was first happening, no one really knew. You just heard of all these like nursing homes where just people all over the place were dying in these nursing homes. It's scary, right? Like, no, all jokes aside, it was a scary thing. And I remember having to, working all day with a mask on and coming home and basically having to strip down on the back porch to my underwear, Lysol and everything, because we didn't know nothing. I didn't want my family getting sick. But then we started learning things, right? Learned that the mask, even Fauci said the masks don't work. The double mask, the triple masks. I remember the craziness. And most of you do too. It feels like a long time ago, don't it? Don't COVID feel like such a long time ago, but it wasn't. It was not that long ago. And I have not forgotten how people like me who had questions, who were skeptical, who were skeptical of some things, like, I don't know if what you're telling me is true or not. How all these people just wanted us dead. A lot of them. You had celebrities going on television be like, hey, if you're not vaccinated and you go to the hospital, then the hospital needs to treat you last. And if you die, you die. That's a little harsh, right? It's a little harsh. I remember all the propaganda. What was it? Who's the guy? The New York mayor. He did the cringy offer with the burger and the fries, where he's like eating the fries and he's like, you could have these fries too if you get vaccinated. Oh, and what's it come with? A burger? It's delicious. And you could have a burger and fries if you get your vaccination. So stupid. people bought into it, and they probably went and got it and was like trying to get the mask right with the burger, and that seems difficult. Doesn't sound like a fun time to be, but people were doing it. But those of us who weren't buying the narrative, we were. I mean, I'm thankful that I worked at a place that said we're not going to force vaccinations on y'all, but it wasn't like that for everyone. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people in the medical industry who had questions lost their jobs. A lot of people were treated as crazy conspiracists because they actually had some knowledge about the actual vaccines and said, hey, we need to pump the brakes on these things. And it was like mandate. Push the vaccines. Everyone get vaccinated. Why? Wasn't saving lives. Remember, if you get the vaccine, you won't get COVID. Oh, but you will get COVID. But then you won't spread it. Oh, but you will spread it. But then it won't be as bad. Well, it'll still be pretty bad. But then you probably won't. It's like, oh, but you're going to have to get a booster and another booster and another booster and another booster and continue to get these boosters. For something that ended up being a lot like the common cold, and I know a lot of people died from COVID. I'm not discrediting that, but then there was a lot of people that died from car wrecks that got put down as COVID. That's true too. Why aren't we getting the cancer numbers from those years? That's weird. That's weird that they're not issuing the deaths by cancer. It's almost like nobody died of cancer during COVID. That's crazy, Cancer kills more people than anything, I think, in this country. Or it's up there. I don't know if it kills more, but it's up there. Apparently, nobody was dying from cancer during COVID. Everybody died from COVID. And so you learn these things, and it's natural to ask questions or to be, suspicious. Have some suspicions. And I'm already a suspicious guy, so I had my suspicions. And Fauci was the face of it. He's the Mr. I am science. If you question me, you're questioning science. That was what he said. This guy was propped up as this great man, and we all need to listen to him. And he's writing in his diary about being famous, And these are the type of people that make decisions for our lives. And even when they seem like they don't get along, they got each other's back. I know all you MAGA people have trouble with this, but you got to remember, it wasn't Biden that unleashed Fauci on us. It was Trump. Trump let him off the chain. And Trump actually, I think he had a tweet not that long ago talking about how great Operation Warp Speed went. Like, Trump encourages people to get the COVID vaccine. He brags about him being responsible for getting it pushed out as quick as it was. Y'all forget about that? Y'all tie Fauci with Biden, which most of his stuff was done under Biden, and Biden gave him the pardon. But Trump's right there with it. All these people have each other's back. You don't believe me about Trump? Let's go back. Let's go back to his first debate with Hillary Clinton. You remember who Trump brought to the debate? It was the rape victims of Bill Clinton. You remember that? Remember how he brought the rape victims or the women that were accusing Bill Clinton of sexual abuse on them? How he brought them to the debate? I remember that. Did y'all forget? Fast forward a little bit. Not that long ago, Trump talked about how great of a man Bill Clinton was and how they get along really well. Like, you bring these women out there to show everyone that Bill Clinton was a monster. And then you turn around and tell us, but he's a great guy. You not see the game being played here? They'll say and do anything to each other, and that's fine. But they're bros behind your back. Remember Trump talking about arresting Hillary Clinton? I would have loved to see it. She deserves to go to jail. Bill Clinton deserves to go to jail. Did he do anything of the sort? No. He actually told people it wouldn't be a good look for our country if he had her arrested. It wouldn't be a good look to have a very powerful person who had done crimes against humanity arrested. I think it would look great. But then, hey, these are the people they run with, you know? These are the Epstein people. Yeah, they get, they do some things, right? They do some dark things, right? But they're buds, okay? I'm sure you've got friends that you don't necessarily agree with everything they do you? I got friends that's, I got friends that believe in baptizing babies. I don't think you should do that, but we make it work. We have other things that, and listen, that's what these people do. It's just on a different scale. Yeah, they do dark things, but they like yachts, and we go on the yacht together. And so you got to understand that. Of course, they don't think none of them actually think Fauci should go to jail. I mean, he should. He should, but he won't. None of these people ever do. When does any of them ever go to jail? They'll have to come out and face a little public humiliation, but they don't care because we're nothing to them. They don't care what we think. They live in a different reality than what we live in. They think they're so far above us. We mean absolutely nothing to these people. And they treat us as such. And you need to start waking up to that. You need to start waking up to these politicians and to these people who run these big agencies and corporations and stuff. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. We're a problem. All these people think that the world is overpopulated. The Bill Gates. Why did Bill Gates have secret access, or not secret, but have like access to like certain things in the Pentagon? The computer nerdy guy? What's he doing up in the Pentagon? This guy's out pushing vaccines in third world countries that are sterilizing whole tribes of people. And we just turn a blind eye to it. They do all this stuff out in the open. I mean, you sit there and talk about, crazy conspiracy Daryl talking. I'm just observing what I see. People, watch how people talk about 9/11. I've talked about 9/11 before. Okay, you don't believe like the first two towers were brought down, a certain whatever. But rationally, ask yourself about Tower 7. Wasn't hit. It was a little distance off. It was actually reported that it came down 20 minutes before it actually did. You can go look it up. I think it was the BBC. Came on and reported that Tower 7 had fell, and in the background, you could still see it standing. And then when it falls, it just falls straight down. Almost like it was meant to, right? And then you ask yourself, okay, well, if they blew that up, then that would have meant that the explosives were already in the building before the two planes. So how would they have? Brings a lot of questions, and these are irrational questions. And if you ask them, you're not irrational. In fact, if you ignore them, you are irrational. I get it. You want to live in this bubble of the government loves you and they want to take care of you, but they don't. And this Fauci thing is just another prime example. They brought victims in there, and I feel bad for the victims. And if anyone ever asked you to come to one of these things, you've been a victim, don't do it, because they don't really care. They're parading you. It's all for a show. They bring Fauci wouldn't even look back at the victims. He wouldn't even look. Of course he didn't. He don't care, and neither did they. It's all a game. It's all just one big game to these people. And the quicker you understand that, the quicker you can see things for what they are. I live in Tennessee. We just had our primary elections, and Marsha Blackburn won. What has she done? Played the game. She wouldn't debate nobody. All she had to do was run her campaign ads that said, I like Trump and he liked me back. Hey, it's good enough for Tennessee. My gosh, we like her. We don't know why we like her, but Trump likes her. And if Trump likes her, we like her. Because that's how we do things. How's that attitude any different from the attitude within the Democratic Party? It's not. It's the same. It's the same attitude. The same way the Democrats can't actually think rationally about things, the Republicans are the same way. It's no different. Now, it might be different subjects, and I can at least get on board with some things from the Republicans. I really can't get on board with anything from the Democrats. Listen, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If you can't acknowledge that there is a human and a woman and that doesn't deserve to die, then I can't get on board with you. That's a big one for me. But I can't really, I'm slowly finding myself not be able to get on board with the Republicans either. Because I just see it all for what it really is. And we've talked about it before. It's not real. It's just not real. And again, the Fauci stuff. What did everybody expect was going to happen? The guy got pardoned for a reason. They knew it. I mean, they knew this, and he was probably told eventually this is going to come out. And the arrogance. That guy don't feel bad. Listen, you remember the because these people they get super arrogant and everything. Every now and then they have to kind of get a little bit of reality check that not everybody's buying what they're selling. Because there's that great video of during the height of all the vaccine stuff and everything. Fauci, and I think it was the mayor of Washington, D.C. at the time, a black lady. They go to a black neighborhood and they think they're just going to go to these random people and talk to them about the vaccine. And they're going to be like, oh, yeah, science. Yeah, science. We love science and we love you. And hit it. Hit me right there. Give it to me. Give me that and the booster at the same time. Let me feel it. Let me take that ride, right? But they didn't. That's not what happened. He goes up there with his little smugness of, hey, I'm Dr. T, right? I'm Dr. T, and I'm going to educate you on the vaccine, Dr. T, and I'm going to educate you on the vaccine, my brother. It's the kind of attitude he had. And this guy was not having it. This guy was. You need to go watch it if you haven't watched it. He starts swearing into them, and very quickly did Fauci go from top of the world to like, you see it in his eyes. Look, he was thinking some racial things towards that guy. You could just see it. He was so embarrassed. How dare him? Does he not know I'm science? He has science right in front of him, and he treats me this way? How dare him? I'm Dr. T. I'm Dr. TF. I'm the Fauci. I'm the Fauci. I'm the Fauci man. You're going to question me. I'm a rock star. All the networks got me on there, right? Who's this guy? How dare him? That's what it turned to, and I love it. It's still one of the best video clips out there, in my opinion. A lot of good ones, but that's one of my favorites. My point is, they got each other's back. They got each other's back. They're not really going to let anything happen to each other. No one ever goes to jail. No one ever. Yeah, they get a little. They got to go through a little public shaming every now and then, just to kind of keep people at bay, because you can't have people coming together and rising up against them, right? You can't have that. That's chaos, right? Yeah, they can lie to us and not get in trouble, but we lie to them, we go to jail. Seems fair. Yeah, they can conspire to take more money from us and poison our food and water and do all these things in the dark. But if we gather and get a little too rowdy, that's an insurrection. Can't have that. Be a good citizen. Be a good citizen. Everyone needs to be a proper and good citizen and be civil. Yes, we have wild sex parties behind the scene and do a bunch of drugs and make all these and we all get rich while we're being public servants. Yes, but you need to calm down. The general public, they need to calm down. Be asking all these questions. You're asking too many questions, general public. Let us do our thing. This is our shot. Why do you want to cramp our style? You shouldn't want to. They're taking their opportunity. So what? We might die. So what? We might get really sick. So what? We may not have any money. They get one shot and they got each other's back. And I don't know. Maybe we need to have each other's back. It's working for them, They keep us at war with each other. And look, there's a lot of people that I can't unite with. I don't know what to do about that. There's a lot of people in this world I just can't unite with. Call me whatever. But it's the truth. Like, there's certain worldviews I can't hitch up to. My worldview comes from the Bible. And I'm not saying you've got to be a perfect Christian for me to join up with you, but there's just a lot of things I can't get on board with. But something's got to happen because, these people are putting on the show right in front of us. And they don't care. They don't even care if we know. Just keep us at bay. They keep each other's back and they keep us at bay. And so I constantly think, what's the answer? I try to listen to certain people. I listen to Tucker Carlson's 10 things to do to make, America better. And it's, I thought it was pretty decent. It's basically common sense stuff. I just don't know if it's going to happen because people find their identity in politics. And they don't want to believe that it's a show. It's like you get these people who get really tied into like these TV shows and stuff to where like it's a part of their life, whether it was, remember the Twilight craze or the Harry Potter or the whatever. Like these people start actually thinking that this is part of their life. It's a show. It's supposed to be entertainment. This is a show, but this affects actually how we live day to day. And too many people just want to keep going along with the show. And as long as we keep doing that, they'll keep having each other's back. And we'll just keep getting further and further away from the republic that this country was founded on. It's already gone, honestly, if we're being honest. But anyways, well, there's my rant, I wanted to bring that up because there were so many people that were just so confused on why Anthony Fauci could just sit there and just plead the fifth 111 times. He just pleaded the fifth and get away with it, and nothing ever really happened. But nothing really happens to any of them. Nothing's happened to anyone that was tied to the Epstein stuff. Yeah, every now and then they've got to give somebody up. They gave up Epstein, right? They gave up Maxwell, whatever. Didn't see. I don't even know her name. She's in a prison, which is more like from what I hear, it's like a resort. It's like the kind of place they put Martha Stewart. every now and then they'll give up one of their own if they feel like they need to keep people at bay. But in general, nothing happens to these people. We go through all these, these hearings, and they have to go through all these questions and stuff, and do a little bit of public humiliation. But past that, nothing else happens to them. They just keep getting rich and just living their lives while we deal with the consequences. While we watched our people die during COVID, while we watched our children have to sit through class, and I didn't send my daughter. I've refused to send her to school because I wasn't going to make her sit there all day long with a mask on. They ruined people's lives because they wouldn't get the vaccine. They really made everyone feel like they were worthless humans if they didn't go along with the vaccine and the mask stuff. And it was all a lie. It was all a lie. And now we're just like, we'll move on. We got a war with Iran we got to deal with now. That's how quick we should be upset about what happened during COVID. But now we're off to the next thing. And maybe that's by design. It probably is. And so just don't be surprised when these people have each other's back. Don't be surprised because it's part of the game. And all I'm saying is, maybe we need to stop worrying about whether we're a good citizen or not and have each other's back. Maybe that's the solution. So, anywho, let's do a culture killer. And so, my culture killer for tonight. This time won't be a long one, but because this one just kind of hit me like, who's listening to Ben Shapiro now? Like, if you're listening to Ben Shapiro other than to make fun of how ridiculous he is, what are you doing? Stop it. This guy is so bad. I've never been a big Shapiro guy. I tried to listen to him when he first started getting popular years ago because there were some debate things that I enjoyed, but overall, the guy is, he's the worst. He's so bad. I saw a clip, because everybody's trying to jump on the Sophie Cunningham thing. And I saw a clip from the Israeli Wire. Sorry, it's an honest mistake. The Daily Wire. Honest mistake. It's the Daily Wire. It's not the Israeli Wire. I don't know why anyone would call it that. And it's not funny. That is not a hilarious joke because there's too much anti-Semitic stuff going on. And it's the Daily Wire. And that's what you need to call it. But this guy, there was a clip where after the Sophie Cunningham, the finger point thing where he's like, he's trying to be cool. And listen, my kids call me cringe. They're crazy. I'm not cringe. They actually have a cool dad. Again, I'll toot my own horn because I'm in the driver's seat. They have a cool dad. And they know it. They just got to do the whole dad, you're cringe, but really they're cool. Our dad's so cool. That's probably what they say to their friends, when I'm not around. But I'm not going to embarrass them. I'm not going to make them say it in front of them. But, they give me that look like, Dad, you're cringe, but, kind of wink at me, but we love you so much because you're awesome kind of thing. But this guy is really cringe. Super cringe. Because he did he's trying to be cool. He's like, I see you, Sophie. Yeah, girl. All right, Sophie Cunningham. I see you. I can't do a Ben Shapiro voice. I can't talk that fast. He talks really fast. I can't listen that fast, Maybe that's a me issue, but I can't listen that fast, and he talks really fast. He's like, I see you, girl. Yeah, dude, stop. You're not relevant. You're not cool. Nobody's bid S. You're so crazy. Oh, please, people stop listening. And I hate to say that because I don't want them to go broke. I don't want nobody to go broke. I'm sure he's got some money from places. He'll be fine. But can we please just stop? Please. We got to stop listening to him so he'll go away. I just want it to go away. But as long as people are out there listening to him, he's not going to. He's not going to, and we just gotta ignore him. Ignore him, he'll go away. It's one of those situations. Like he's at the door knocking, turn the lights off. All right, get down where he can't see because he's going to be looking in the window. Right, where is everybody? No one move. No one say a word. He will leave eventually. That's what we got to do because I can't deal with it. I can't deal with the propaganda, and I just can't deal with his overall. And I get it. Listen, I would probably be really annoying if Bibi Netanyahu had his hand up my backside and was working my mouth all day too. I wouldn't enjoy it. I would not enjoy it. Right? It would get old, and people would probably get sick of me. And so my advice to him would probably be to remove the hand, and then just just take the money that you've made and just enjoy the rest of your life. People can say whatever they want. Like, listen, I know what that guy thinks about Jesus. He tries to play to the Christian, you know, to the Christian people that listen to the Daily Wire. He keeps a few Christians on board, but he's an Orthodox Jew. You know what they think about Jesus? Go read what they think about Jesus in the Talmud, then get back to me. That's what they think about Jesus. So yeah, I'm not trying to get on board with people that think that about the God of the universe. No, count me out. And so that's my culture killers. Like, we need these people to just kind of go away. We just need them to go away. And they're only going to go away if you stop listening to them. And I'm trying to get it out of my algorithm. Like, I try to scroll. I don't even know what the guy talks about anymore. I did do the Sophie Cunningham thing, but outside of that, I'm just, please, algorithm, make it go away. Like, why are you torturing me? And I know it's probably the AI demon, with his little trickery, trying to get me fired up. I don't put it past it. But odd culture killer, I know, but it's just something that's just so annoying. It really is. So let's get into a little Bible time. And I don't know. I don't feel like the show's flowing. Is it flowing? I hope it's flowing. I hope it's good. It's good. I know it's good. I don't care what you say. It's good. You're going to listen. You're going to love it. You're going to enjoy it. I hope. So I wanted to read a verse out of the book of Daniel tonight, and I think I'm at about 50 minutes. I try to keep it around an hour because I get it. Just, got stuff to do, Just a little quick chat with old D here, and, go live your life. So, quick verse out of the book of Daniel. And I'm going to read from Daniel chapter 11. It's just going to be verse 32. And it says, by smooth words he will turn to godlessness those who act wickedly toward the covenant. But the people who know their God will display strength and take action. And I really want to focus on that last part, that those who know their God will display strength and take action. Now, this is out of the book of Daniel. Great book. Recommend it. Go read. Good read. Be careful, though, because some people will try to teach you some weird stuff out of the book of Daniel. All right, so maybe we'll get into that some other time. I don't have time to get into all that, but just be careful who's trying to teach you stuff from the book of Daniel, because that's some people will get into some wild things. But anyways, but the people who know their God will display strength and take action. And so, a little background, Daniel, he was taken in captivity by Nebuchadnezzar, and then after Babylon was basically in control, and then Persia came in, they took control, and eventually Alexander the Great with Greece, and then eventually Rome, until when Jesus comes on the scene, Rome's in control. And so what this in this passage is referring to, it's basically telling them all these kingdoms that are going to rise up and all these things are going to happen, and there would be a ruler named uh, Antiochus. I think that's how you say it. I'm not good with the biblical names. I'm the type that will just skip over it. All right. But he was the ruler of the area of like Syria and Asia Minor after Alexander the Great's kingdom was broken up and divided. I guess before Rome actually took power. But it was prophesied that he would come and he would desecrate the temple, and he would actually be helped by apostate Jews with his own people to desecrate. I think they burned a pig at the altar, and they did all kind of wicked things at the temple. And so this is kind of the context of where that verse is. And but this here, but the people who know their God will display strength and take action, and they did. There was uprising against it. There was pushback, and God's people rose up to push back against the abominations that were taking place at the time. And there's a good lesson in that for us, is that the people who know their God, the people who know their God, and we're in a battle of knowledge, right? You go back to the COVID stuff, you go back to all this stuff. It's this constant battle of knowledge. The Bible says the beginning of knowledge is the fear of the Lord. And so the beginning of all knowledge comes from the fear of the Lord. Now that people can know things and not know God. People can be smart and not know God. But at the end of the day, they're reduced to stupidity because they reject their maker. Prime example of this, I was reading, or not reading, I was watching an interview Elon Musk had done with, it's like the some kind of economy person or whatever. It was pretty recent. And, Elon Musk seen as this brilliant guy, and he's a smart guy. You can create a rocket that can land and do it. I mean, pretty smart guy, I can't change my oil without getting it on the driveway. So what's that say about me? But smart guy, and I'm listening to him, and they're talking about AI, right? And he's sitting there, and he's like, she's asking him like, well, what people do for money, and he's just like, oh, well, people won't need money because AI. I'm like, it's easy for the trillionaire to say that. Like, he's going to create this utopia for all the people, and everybody's just going to be happy, and everybody's just going to be able to be creative all the time. No one's going to have to work because the AI demon robot's just going to work for us, and they're going to be fine with it. Apparently, they're not going to rise up against us. They hope not. They won't tell us that they won't do it. They say there's a slight probability that the AI could get to a point where it wants to kill all the humans. But it's a risk we're willing to take for this utopia society that they're going to create where no one needs money, no one needs jobs. Boy, I hope that's not true. But he's a smart guy. What do I know? I'm not a trillionaire. But then in the middle of that interview, he said something. I just started laughing, and he said, "Well, follow me." He said, "Well, we are descendants from chimpanzees." I was like, "Oh, Elon, so smart yet so dumb." I can't take. Listen, he knows a lot, and he's made a lot. But he can't even see that he was created in the image of God. He's blind to it. He doesn't have the fear of the Lord. So he doesn't have the beginning of knowledge. These smart people think we came from monkeys. It's ridiculous, right? It is ridiculous. Anyone that thinks that we came from monkeys, it's bad take. It's a really bad take. Well, science. Well, science this, science that. Science does not prove we came from chimpanzees. Doesn't. But the people who make all these decisions for us and they're going to be responsible apparently for bringing in the AI euphoria. They think we came from monkeys. My point is that even with all these like worldly people who are really smart, they don't have true knowledge, because true knowledge comes from the fear of the Lord. And like this verse says, but the people who know their God will display strength and take action. You have to know God. So when we're talking about trying to fix these problems in our society, it has to start with us knowing God and really knowing Him. Not knowing Him like you know some random guy that you think you might have his phone number, you're not sure, but if you don't, you can find it. How well do you know God? Like truly know Him. How much time do you spend in His Word? How much time do you spend talking to Him, praying? It's important, because the Bible says it's those people who know God, who know their God, actually know their God. In times of distress, they will display strength. And if you look back through church history and all the stuff that the church has been through, Christians continued Christianity continued to grow, because it was growing from people who, of course, it was God's hand all over it, but these people knew their God. They knew how to respond in situations. They knew what to do in the face of evil and corruption. Our problem is we go along with it in this country. Our problem is we take at face value these politicians and these leaders who's like, oh yeah, well, I'm a Christian, Judeo-Christian values, which I won't even get into that. It's Christian values. Thank you. Sorry, not sorry. It's Christian values. But we take it face value like, oh, well, yeah, they said they're a Christian and they went to church, and so they must be righteous. But everything they do is unrighteous. I'm not like both parties. You have all these unrighteous people, but God's people perish for lack of knowledge, because they don't know, because they're not in the Word, because they're not in prayer, they're not talking to God. They're not, and a lot of it's because we think God works for us. What a stupid way to think. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but it is really a dumb way to think. You think God works for you? God works for no one. God's going to use you one way or another for His, for His glory, or even if you're destroyed, it's going to be for God's purposes. God doesn't work for you, and God's not the God that you create in your own image. It's the God of the Bible. And so if you really want to know what to do in the face of evil, you've got to know your God. You have to know your God. And maybe He's not your God, and you need to make Him your God. Maybe you've thought He's your God, but if you really peeled back the layers, you'd realize that your God looks more like you than you look like your God. If your God looks like you, you've got a problem. You're worshiping a false God. We're created in God's image. Too often, we want to create God in our image. And that's no different than worshiping Buddha. That's no different than worshiping Allah. That's no different than being an atheist, because it all leads to the same road. And so first, make sure you know God. And then once you meet Him, get to know God even more. Because it's when I've learned this the hard way. When I'm in God's Word, when my prayer life is strong and situations arise, I always know how to handle them. I'm not saying I always do it perfectly, but I don't panic and I know how to handle them. It's the times when things happen and I haven't been in my Bible, and I haven't been in my prayer closet, my time of prayer, where I feel like I can't function, where I don't know what to do. I make bad decisions. And so if we're going to fix anything, it has to start with us. It has to start with us. If we're going to take action, it has to start with us knowing God and knowing His will for our life, and then knowing how to take that and use it to affect the world around you. If we started as individuals in an honest pursuit of God and just focused on our families and the people around, what kind of change do you think we would see? What do you think would happen if we stopped going along with the worldly system of doing things? See, this whole system that's been created against us, it's demonic in nature, of course. We know that. If you read your Bible, you know it's demonic in nature. How do you fight against it? Don't participate in it. Don't participate in the filth that comes out of Hollywood. By the way, Hollywood Babylon, I think the book I'm reading. Hollywood's been a place of full of degenerates since it started. We keep buying into it. The music industry, we keep buying into it. These politicians, it's all demonic. It's all sin. And I'm not saying be Amish or anything like that, completely remove yourself from society, but there are ways that you can push back against that stuff. Like, how broke would Hollywood go if we just stopped watching the filth? We're the ones funding it, you know? Like, what would happen to the music industry if we just stopped listening to their garbage? We just quit giving them our money. Like, what do you do in a war? You cut off a supply chain, right? Their supply chain is our money. And so maybe we wake up and realize, I'm not going to participate in this stuff anymore. If you want to sin, if you want to be a part of all these worldly things and demonic things, you're not going to get my money from it. Maybe that's a way that it takes a hit and we see things get cleaned up. I don't know. But I do know this. For the individual, you have to know God. For you to be able to do anything, for you ever to push back and take a stand against any of this stuff and actually be impactful and actually make a difference, it has to start with you knowing God. And so that's my prayer for myself, is that I will continue in my pursuit to know God better, that I never get to a point of, well, you know, me and God are good. I don't have to keep pursuing Him. That's a dangerous place to be. And maybe that's where some of you are now. And so I just pray that you ask yourself, like, how well do I know God? And do I truly know Him? Or does my God look like me? And I need to run from that. So, anyways, good show. I'm going to pat myself on the back. Good show. And thanks again, everyone, for tuning in to the show. And we will see you next time. You know, my wife's been watching Dateline, and she's been getting these weird phone calls from Tel Aviv. And so I just want to put this out there. I enjoy life. I'm just kidding. I kid. She was watching a lot of Dateline. It's freaking me out a little bit. But anyways, I will see y'all next time. Goodbye. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4.